guest. By you showing up for this open house, you're already showing fortitude to improve your public speaking. So I'm very excited about that. So my speech, actually, timer, it's typically 10 to 15 minutes, but I'll try and keep it under 10 because of time. So the title of my speech is Keeping the Commitment. So this speech I'm giving you is part of the Better Club series. So to make sure the quality of Toastmasters is being maintained and to ensure that we encourage current members and new members to maintain a certain standard when they join the club or if they're considering joining the club. It gives you insight into what we do. So the fact that you are a member of Toastmasters tells me that you're interested in improving your public speaking skills or you want to refine your speaking skills and so forth. And for our guests, that tells me that you're considering joining Toastmasters to do the same thing. So what helps maintain the success of Toastmasters? What maintains a healthy club? For example, our club has been lucky enough to have people go on to attain the highest level of public speaking, that is what is called the DTM, which means Distinguished Toastmaster. That's the highest level that you can reach when you join the club. And fortunately, we've had 4 members from this club do that. So that tells you that we take the business that we do here very seriously. Not only that, we've been fortunate enough to have people who have participated in contests and have done pretty well. So we also attribute that to the growth and the encouragement that we share at this club. But all these things don't come without practice, without dedication, without maintaining a certain level of commitment. So for those of you who are Toastmaster members currently, how do you ensure that that commitment is maintained? How do we make sure our club remains successful? How do we make sure that the Annual Leadership Toastmaster Club continues to exist after we leave or if we're still current members? So the first thing is participation. When you sign up, it's not about just getting your money. We're not interested in your money. We're interested in your personal growth because we're all here to grow. And if you heard our Sergeant at Arms read, the mission of the club is an environment that provides a friendly atmosphere that is mutually beneficial to all of us to grow. And that is the mission. I paraphrase that. You can read that on your outline. It's well stated there. So participation is key. When you sign up, make sure you participate. Attend the club meetings regularly. Because when you do that, everybody has to play a role. People give speeches, people evaluate, people play different roles. We can't do that if people don't show up. And it would be a disservice to all the members who sign up. Let's say we had 30 members and only 5 people are showing up for the meeting. It would not be worthwhile. If we have 30 members and 5 people show up, our guests won't have a good experience when they come to visit our club and in turn might not join. But if they come and they see good speeches by Nani and Lori, they're like, wow, these guys are really having fun here. I want to join. So it is important, it is imperative to participate. Also, when you sign up to give a speech, make sure it's well prepared, well rehearsed. It is not a good look for you to come here unprepared. Not to mention makes you look bad, and then the audience is looking at you like, so it's not a good look for both sides. So when you are signed up, or when you do sign up to give a speech, make sure it's well prepared. Make sure you use visual aids where appropriate. Make sure you do your best to give the best speech that you can. None of us are professionals, we're all trying to grow, but at least it should be noticeable that there's some growth when you give presentations. Your icebreaker is about yourself, but by the time you get to project 4 or 5, we should see some maturation in your presentation and some confidence in front of the audience. Also, if you're playing roles, because Toastmasters is not just about giving speeches. As you can see tonight, some people are evaluating, some people are being timers, some people are being grammarians, some people are doing art counting. Make sure you're fully engaged in whatever task you're assigned to. The timer has to do a good job to make sure they take proper timing. The grammarian has to make sure they pay attention, listen well, to catch subject, verb, agreement, or improper use of the English language. So when they give us feedback, we can know that there's certain mistakes we are making, and therefore from our feedback, we can know not to repeat the same mistakes again when we give presentations in the future. The second point I'm going to move into, because I've given you enough about participation, is interact. When you come to the club, don't isolate yourself. It's a way to network, it's a way to get to know people, it's a way to ask people who have been members for a while, I want to give my icebreaker, but I don't know what to talk about. Can you help me? Give me ideas of my topic. Because some people join and they don't give speeches for a month, 2 months, and before you know it, they've lost interest. But if you interact and really immerse yourself with your fellow members, you can have ideas. People can mentor you, people can make recommendations. And if you come to the meetings regularly, you can get ideas from other people's topics. For example, when I gave my icebreaker, I talked about the first time I went to Nigeria as a kid, being born in the United States, and my experience coming back for college. So that's a personal story that I decided to share with my audience, and I thought was very applicable because we have a lot of first-generation African American or Africans in this club. Or people from we have people from Canada, Africa, and so forth, and from the Caribbean. So that story was very relatable to the audience, and that's what I decided to share. Also, interaction means serving. So in this club, in any club that you go, people have officer roles. We have a president, we have a VP of education, which is my position. We have people who are VP of membership, which is Zainabu. We have people who promote the club outside, and we have treasurer and secretary. So we have to keep proper notes of the meetings records, so that way we can have records when it's time to fill out our CCs, to make sure we get the proper certificates. So there has to be documentation, and everybody has a role to play. So don't just become a member when you are asked to become an officer, because it's a one-year term. Let's rotate, let's get involved, let's interact that way. And lastly, as far as interaction, be respectful to your club members. People come from all kinds of backgrounds. Some people are Christians, some people are Muslims, some people whatever they are, and you have to be respectful, just the same way you have to be in a professional workplace. You know, guys need to be respectful of the ladies and so forth. Don't come in and start harassing the female members and vice versa. You got to be friendly but respectful in the process. I mean, if you decide to ask somebody out on a date, that's your own private business, but do it in a very respectful way. Don't come in and harass people, because we want to have a friendly environment, and that will not be encouraged in any club, and not here for that matter. So in your interactions, try to be respectful in the process. So the next thing I want to jump into is, it is our duty to maintain club quality, because it affects all of us. If the quality is bad, we all stop growing. We become stagnant. We don't grow. So it is all our responsibility to maintain quality. How do you do that? When we have open house, invite your friends. Tell people about the good experience that you're having. Make sure that you come on time, so that members are here to greet the guests. The guests should not be arriving before the members. Because if a guest shows up before we do, they might think they're in the wrong place and go back. You know, if you're a VP of membership, be around to greet the guests. Like Zainabu was here and she had the sign-in book. All of those things are very paramount to the quality of a club. And thankfully, you know, our club is doing a good job in that regard. Follow the rules and guidelines. So Toastmasters has rules, has guidelines. Follow them. Show up 7 o'clock if that's what the time is. If you're not going to show up, let your VP of education know. If you had signed up for a speech before and something happened that you can't make it, which is fine, let us know a day before, at least maximum 8 hours before, because there could be other people who would like to give speeches, and that way when people come to the club, at least they'll have a speech to listen to or a speech to evaluate. Don't wait 1 hour before the meeting and say, oh, sorry, because you got the jitters. It's not fair to the guest and to the member. So let's try to keep the quality of the club um, at a high level. And again, observe the ethical standards of the club. Try to minimize profanity, but don't use a period if possible. Don't try to be, a bigot. Don't use sexist language when you give me your presentations. Things that are appropriate to the audience. I mean, these things are common sense, but you'd be surprised. We've, I've experienced, a certain member who basically thought they could be at liberty to, say certain things, and we just have to pull them to the side and say, look, man, we are not going to accept that here, so please refrain from using certain language. That might be okay in your own private home, but it's not, you're making people very uncomfortable, and we would not want you to continue in that way. So the club, in conclusion, is only as strong as its members. So I would encourage you to show up, listen up, and follow up. I stole that from somebody who gave up. And I think that really echoes the sentiment of keeping the commitment. And if you show up, like you did, our guest, follow up if you want to inquire more about what it takes to join a club, what Toastmasters is all about, and we'll be more than happy to address all your questions. And when you do become a member, listen up. Learn from your fellow members. See what people are doing well. See what people are not doing well. When we're giving evaluations, listen to the feedback that people get. You can learn from that. For example, if I'm a speaker and I'm just staying in one spot, I'm not really engaging the audience. I'm making it look awkward for you guys. You guys are looking at me like, okay, does this guy really know what he's talking about? But if I move around and engage the audience, I minimize the distance between the orator and my guest. And that way you feel a connection. My presentation is more believable and hopefully more encouraging, that I can actually reach you. And that way you can learn from what I'm presenting. So part of presentation involves really minimizing that distance, making your audience feel comfortable, making sure you select a topic matter that might be relevant to your audience. And I thought this topic would be very relevant to our current members and to our guests. So I encourage you to join Toastmasters. Don't delay, don't hesitate, just do it, and we'll all grow together. Thank you very much.